Well,
Welcome
to
to
Shade,
Shade and the City. I'm your girl, Treese.
it's Nels.
And today, y'all, we are here to get into the Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 16, episode 9, and this is Blame It on the Henny. Okay. I thought it was Blame It on the Goose. Gotcha. But did he? I don't think blaming. I
He
don't
said
think.
he also, no, he does also say blame it on the Henny. Blame
Oh,
it on
okay. Look.
got you feeling dizzy. Blame it on the Henny got you feeling dizzy.
Okay. Okay. Look at nails. Okay. She might know something. All right, y'all. So thank you for being here with us, all of our HOA Shade Squad and our new viewers. If you have not already, please make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button for us.
And that subscribe button.
And y'all, let's jump right into it because it was a pretty good episode. I gotta say, it was probably like I would have probably gave it a good 8. You know, the girls are giving. The girls are giving. And
Yeah.
I can appreciate it. Yeah. Let's get into it. Let's get shady. So we kick it off, and Cynthia lets us know that she was asleep for all of the mess, but she heard the trip went south towards the end. So
I even forgot she was there.
Huh?
After when all that stuff was going down, I forgot she was even there.
I will say that too. That makes sense because
that
I don't
night
even...
we didn't see her, and then the next morning we didn't see her. I completely forgot she was there.
Look, she said what she said. Ain't nothing open good after midnight. Said what she say, legs and so she goes to talk to the ladies kind of individually or whatever. So she meets Kelly and Shamia, who tell her that after she went to bed, they decided to go to the pool and turn up. Then Shamia says Britt brought up Charles cheating and having an outside baby on Angela, which we kind of already heard sprinklings of that. That's alleged. Then they tell her that part 2 of that was Portia saying that she would smash Charles. Okay. And so by the time Cynthia gets to Portia, she says she don't even remember who said that. And I said, Portia, this is not a who said that moment. Okay. You said that. Okay. And Cynthia tells her to, blame it on Henny girl. So Portia said that Henny saved the night, but says that I would never smash anyone's husband.
She said that's not who she is.
Bless her heart. Thank God she didn't swear to God. So she knows nothing about Charles and, says that she has no intention of repeating anything that might have come out. So then Cynthia is looking at her confused, what the hell are you talking about? And then we jump back over to Shamia and Kelly, who are sharing that or Shamia shares that she tried to reach out to Angela after the fact, and Angela responded with a long text message and told Shamia after her and her husband were disrespected that basically she has nothing to say. Now, I know that there was more to that. She said something about she didn't want to do this fake sisterhood or something like that. And so then Cynthia lets them know, well, hey, I am hosting my annual Bailey Q at what do they call Lake Bailey. And so she said the theme is Juneteenth, and so she wants all of them to come, and she'll even have a prophet come out and prophesize over.
All right, so Kelly done threw a pet party. Okay, this girl got a dog bar, a pink carpet, and
I'm not even gonna hold you. The dog bar was so cute. I wouldn't pay for it, but it was so cute.
If nothing else, this was creative as hell.
Right.
It's creative.
I ain't even gonna hold you. Whoever, shout out. I don't know if they displayed it. Whoever the event planner was, kudos to her.
Mm-hmm. They showed her.
But I don't think they put the name of her business. You know what I mean? I might have to go back and look at it. But whoever she is, kudos to her, because that was a cute ass event.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She said that she goes out for all her girls. Okay. She said she gets the dog's hair done, lashes, and we saw the lashes. Did you see the lashes on the dog?
I didn't know the last dog had
The
lashes.
dog had lashes on top of her fur. The dog had lashes. She said she gets her nails done and she's even bejeweled. Then Britt brought mimosa by. I know she was like, this is fancy. I know mimosa was like, oh, this is my type of party.
Right.
And then they even had doggy entertainment.
Me and Nels were just talking about this, and I was like, that's when you know you're doing too much. Okay.
Listen, I got a few things you can spend some money on if you just don't know what to do with it.
Do with it. Okay. And then not to mention, I ain't trying to be mean. I mean, but last time I checked or last report I seen, don't you owe somebody some money? And you out here spending it on cha-cha? You better cha-cha your ass down and pay that debt. Allegedly.
All right. So Britt told her that her mom will be moving in. She's already put the house up for sale and it's already under contract. She said she'll be moving in within 30 to 45 days. She told her that she had a conversation with her sister. And she's going to come over and, help them pack. After all this Kenya drama, her sisters have been supportive. So after the rain, there is some sunshine. And then, they discuss the Cynthia Bailey Q and come into that.
So then we hop over to Portia's house. And she comes home and surprises Pilar with a Pomeranian. I think what they named the dog? Cocoa butter, brown sugar,
peanut butter.
Oh, peanut butter. Okay, that cocoa butter, brown sugar. I was close. Peanut butter.
You know what? And I like the fact that she's not actually cocoa butter colored, but named cocoa butter. But she got like kind of little strips of brown a little bit. I thought it was a cute name for her. I was like, okay, PJ, that was cute.
Oh, PJ named her.
PJ named her.
Oh, okay.
Said, I want to call her peanut butter.
Oh, peanut butter. She says that, her energy has been off lately with the divorce and everything. And so she knows Pilar can feel that. So she just wanted to give her a dog. And you know what? I was thinking about it and I was like,
asking for a sibling.
Well, that part. However, I was thinking to myself, I said, oh, I know why you did this. Because you getting that au pair. You got somebody to help you out and walk that dog and do all that. That's why you doing it. Because please, I don't believe that she would want to sit around, regardless of what Pilar wanted. I don't think she would want to do that.
I don't know why. I think when I thought of an au pair, I think I thought of like an older woman, like an older person.
No, a lot of au pairs come over because that's how they end up. Like they're either here on student visa or something like that. But that's how they end up.
That's kind of like, is that like a work visa?
Yeah, that's how they end up getting over here.
I don't think I also realized that a majority of them are from another country.
Oh yeah. A big majority of them.
Is that how they get them for a good price?
Yeah. Well, not even that, not even for a good price, but essentially you're giving them room and board. They live at your house. So you're feeding them, you
got to give them like some money. They got to go shopping and outing.
I mean, I'm sure there's a little cost with it, but the fact that they live in your house takes a big chunk out of that.
I think I'd rather be a babysitter.
Right. I was going to say,
just give me, look, I'll pay my own rent where I need to go home to, and you just pay me.
Right. So then Lauren asked for, Lauren and Miss Diana there. So Lauren asked for any updates on the divorce. Portia says that they now have a court date, and once they enforce the prenup, it should be all over. And I don't think it happened like that. So she brings up how she's feeling a little better and how much fun she had in Nashville, but then explains how things took a turn when she got a call hearing that Dennis was filming with Drew. And she says that her and Dennis aren't friendly, and at this point, they're just speaking about Pilar. So Portia says in her confessional that they're supposed to be close for Pilar and not because Dennis is back during Housewives. And then she says, okay, hold on. I didn't mean like that. She said pause. I didn't mean like that. And then she was like, Portia.
She's like, just speak. Yeah, she said,
say less.
Say
So then she says that after she had the conversation with Cynthia, she ended up getting in the pool, having a great time. However, she forgot she gave Angela the room closest to the pool and admitted she was mimicking her, pretending to be Miss Netta. And Portia doesn't it, but this is what I loved about this. Portia conveniently leaves out in the story with her mom and Lauren that she says she would hunch that lady husband.
Oh, what she said was, I said such, and she was
I
like,
said something, but
she
I
said
don't remember.
something about her husband, but I don't remember saying that.
Right. And but she said, but what I did do was I called her as Big Bird. I did say that.
Who said that?
Who said that?
So then Shamia went to go see her potential new surrogate, Asha, and get acquainted with her. She called Gerald on FaceTime to get his approval, and I mean, it seemed like he approved. She ready to get down. She's like,
Look,
let's do
she
it.
ready to get down, like they about to go do it.
She's trying to get that check. Okay.
No, I mean, like you had heard that Gerald ready to get down, she ready to get down. Didn't sound.
Not like
it didn't
that.
sound.
Not like that. Not like that. So then Angela and Charles are in the gym. She said that man work out every day. Okay. He's a drill sergeant. I know how that is. Just stay away. Just don't go. just don't go. Let them go.
Not now getting personal for.
just let them go by.
That's usually my job.
Let them go by itself. Okay. So she wanted to tell him about Nashville. And you know what? I actually appreciated Charles in this scene. Okay. And she said that Portia was upset that she invited Drew. And he like, why would you do that? Why is you even inviting people?
Right. I you know what? I'm not even gonna hold you. I was here for once. For once, I was here for Charles. I
said exhibit A.
Right.
Okay. And she was like, I just wanted them to get together so they can get along. Then she explained at the dinner party, Britt was speaking for Portia. Then Angela said she asked Portia, why did she take that lady's husband? And then Portia gave her ass a kiss, and he completely understood that also.
Right.
He was like, you might have been
involved yourself in something that, yeah.
I said, and of course, now he got to be riding Portia's bandwagon because he don't agree with her BS. And she said, since you all what?
Basically, since you team Portia, let me tell you what Portia had to say. That's
basically saying that, all of them was talking about how he got a girl in New York, and Portia said that basically he's easy to sleep with because even she can do it. So she said she about to go to war, and he said, okay, well, give me front row tickets. He said, I'll be watching from the sideline because I don't agree with your ass.
Well, so, I feel him, because that was just wrong. And the thing about it is, I feel like kind of what, I don't know. When we get to the prophet, I'll get there, but it kind of makes me think that maybe she's right. Like they're off. Like, I mean, we can see that it's off and how he like speaks to her. But part of me is starting to think that that's just him too. But just their dynamic. And I don't know. I think that your partner should be able to tell you the truth. I also think that there's a part of it where it's like, yeah. No, he couldn't co-sign for her foolishness. I can't defend it. I can't look. She's like, he loves to play advocate. And I'm sitting here like, well, Angela, no, he just has sense. That wasn't advocate.
Well, you was dead ass wrong.
Yeah, you was dead ass wrong. All right. So speaking of, we go into Portia getting the au pair. I think we already touched on that a little bit, but Dennis has come over to meet this young lady. She said that it's important for her and Dennis to have a good co-parent relationship. Then Dennis shows up in her confessional. Okay, and I said, and as she said, I guess he's working on being
the whole time, girl. The whole time.
And she said, I guess he's trying to be a full-time house husband. But she said, she's letting it go. She wants to move past it because it's really important that they are on the same page for Pilar.
I thought it was nice that she had like a gift basket and flowers and cake and stuff for the au pair.
Oh no, I thought that was really sweet how she welcomed her. So
Yeah.
then they do meet the au pair, which is Phoebe. Apparently, in which I love, apparently she was the au pair for another family. And I guess they decided, well, maybe their kids got old or whatever the case may be. So so she was referred to Portia. So I thought that was dope. One thing so then we hop to the fact that she asked him, she pulls
They
him
got
to
to
the side.
clean up too.
Huh?
They got to clean up too.
I mean, they don't have to, but it's kind of like I don't know. I guess it depends on what you put in your contract.
Like, is it like a living maid and babysitter just to have a roof over your head? No, just pay me for my time, for my 8 hours.
Well,
I need to be off in 8 hours.
you stupid. No, but I mean, I don't know if you think
And
about it, because that's why Dennis told her maybe you'll be able to sneak off in the middle of the night because she lives there.
Exactly. That means you don't get no time off. You don't get no for a room. Girl, you could rent a room. You could rent a room somewhere.
Not in Atlanta nowadays.
Yes, yes, in Atlanta.
Okay.
In Atlanta, cheaper than here, girl. No, she,
Stupid.
girl.
So
God said
then
go.
the subject.
This sounds like slavery.
You stupid.
It do. It sounds like modern day slavery.
How did we get back on this? Okay, y'all. So then
I'm
Portia
just trying to understand.
now, one thing that I didn't like about this whole scene was when Dennis meets her, he asks the young lady, well, what do you like to do when you're not working? I just felt like that was the way he said it. And we know Dennis is kind of a creep. And it just gave like, she does not want your hot dog in her bun, Dennis. She doesn't. He was like, what do you do when you're not working? That's why she was like, I have friends. Yeah, you creepy ass old nigga. Look out here.
That's not how I took it.
That's how I looked at it. I was like, Dennis. Y'all drop down the comments. Did anybody else see that? I thought Dennis was being kind of creepy. Anyway, then they asked, well, why didn't you let us know that you were filming with Drew? And Dennis said, no, I ain't know nothing about it. The cameras just came in and I was just in the studio doing what I did. So then production is like, but still, why wouldn't you tell Portia that you were filming? And then he's sitting there stuck on mute. So he tells her, well, you know what? Don't worry about it anyway, because I'm no longer managing Drew. And he blames it on Portia scaring her. So then Portia said, well, y'all need to take accountability for whatever that business relationship was. And says, and then mentioned something about Dennis saying she tried to sleep with him. So I don't know if she had his phone.
She pulled up text messages where he said all I had to do was say yes.
Oh,
he was
okay.
like, oh, you interpreted that wrong.
Well, Dennis said, look, I wasn't the one hitting it. Somebody might be hitting it, but I wasn't the one hitting it. And I was like, well, I mean, Portia, if it's one thing we can realize, clearly his loyalty is to you, because why did Drew have to catch a stray? Why do we need to know she's hunching on somebody? I don't know if that makes you feel better. I don't know, but why did Drew
feel better that she ain't hunching on Ralph?
So now Portia said that she wants friendship and calls him brother, which
the only reason why I don't see it for Drew is because of Ralph. It's not Drew. It's because of Ralph.
And because she was stupid enough to be with him.
Yeah, and not be with it, but stay. We should not be here. This should have happened years ago, but yet we are still in the house with this man in your basement. And I thought she was sneaking down to the basement to get a little taste, and then they would get mad at each other and pull this petty stuff. That's really what I thought. So I was actually happy to hear that she was hunching on somebody else.
Well, then there you have it. Nels feels away. And so basically, yeah, Portia said Dennis is like her brother, and he ain't feeling that because Dennis still want to tap.
He would not dap her up to that.
And what's so crazy to me is is that I feel like I heard a little birdie told me, or I ain't even gonna say a little birdie told me. I feel like I heard in the YouTube streets somewhere somebody was saying that she had admitted, or maybe I read something where they said she had admitted that at a certain point she was considering taking Dennis back. And then I don't know if it was the Drew thing, or it might have been on her channel. I haven't watched any of her.
Her vibe didn't give you that?
Oh no, it definitely gave me that.
Oh.
I knew when I saw them filming together and they was all buddy buddy. I said, "Oh yeah, I said she want that old thing back."
They might if they're not back together, they still might be smashing. They give me that they smashing.
Well,
So Britt and her sisters are packing up her mom's house, and it's bringing up all these old memories. Apparently, this is a home that their dad built for their mom, and apparently, he didn't even make it a year in the home. And she said that she hates that her mom is selling the home because, she wants to pass it through generations. Her sister told her mom that, you've been with daddy since you was 17, so now you ready to go hoe. I said, oh, what?
well, okay. I know that was supposed to be taken like, oh, haha, funny and like a cute moment. But as we see her continue to be disrespectful to her mother throughout, I didn't think it was funny anymore, because I think that she meant that. And they just cackled about it like they kiki. But I think that she meant that with her whole chest.
And she might have. And
you said, and she might have.
And she might have. And guess what? At the end of the day, I'm grown. I raised y'all, and your daddy gone. So yeah, if that's what I want to do, that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry. I thought
and what about it?
I thought Cher was super disrespectful. I really didn't care for her.
And she was, but guess what? I'll laugh right back in your face, because guess what? We both grown, and I can do whatever the hell I want. Okay, I done raised my kids.
Well, clearly that's why her and her mama didn't talk much. If you remember, Britt was like, "Call your mom, bitch. Like, call your mama." She was like, "No, last time we, So apparently they've been having this issue.
Then Cher and her mom started to get into it.
Right.
Because apparently, the mom gave away some things that belonged to the dad, and it pissed her off. And she was like, I'm not about to argue with you about me giving away my things.
Okay.
Then they called Tierra to check in on her. She said she won't be able to make it, but she says she loves them, but she just can't do it. So Cher gets on the phone and told her, if you love me, why you don't answer my calls? And she said, everybody deals with grief differently. And she's like, I've been dealing with grief for a very long time, and it's not fair for you to shut me out like this. And then the grandmother told them, you know what? They have the good Lord upstairs. Okay. And he takes care of everything, and told them they got to stop fussing and acting like a fool all the damn time.
Acting like a fool. I said that reminded me so much of Mary. Reminded me of Mary Davis. Now let me tell you this. I know we didn't get to see what's the name, Tierra, or I mean we did on the phone. But can I just say, and this is, I don't know if I believed her when she said, "Oh, Cher, of course I love you." She seemed even hesitant to say it. I really don't think from what we've seen from her behavior, and again,
these dramatics was gonna happen.
And I could get her, grieving and whatnot. But yeah, Cher is a lot. Cher is a lot. And I can understand the sister being like, you know what? I'm still grieving for my dad, and you're like, I'm protecting my peace. Yeah, and you're a lot. And I don't want you to say something, and then I'm gonna have to whoop your ass. Because that's what it's giving.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all. So then we move on to the Bailey queue, and Britt is the first to arrive, and unfortunately, the weather is not cooperating with her. Okay. So Britt sits down with the prophet first, and she tells her that basically.
Let me say, so when they showed the prophet, Tasha.
Okay, thank you. Because literally my notes say the prophet, the prophet, the prophet.
I recognized her because she was out here on the radio. She used to be on the radio, and she was considered a psychic, not a prophet.
Oh,
But
okay.
but people would call in, and she was talk to her name was Talk to Tosh. People
Uh-huh.
would call in to ask a question or something like that, or she would just read them, I guess, through the phone and kind of give them some type of like psychic reading. But I just thought it was funny to go from psychic to prophet now.
So basically she tells Britt that she has a business venture that she really needs to focus on and she needs to choose herself. And then Britt lets us know that apparently she's working on like some shapewear. I feel like everybody's wants shapewear at this point. Um, I feel like, you know,
I think they need to explain what's the difference from everybody else's.
everybody else. That's the thing. That's why I say it's like,
Because at this point,
just like at this point, everybody has joggers.
Because really, at this point, I could order a bunch of them from Shein and call them Chanel. It's nails. It's shapewear by nails. Okay.
It's shapewear by nails, right? Now, Kelly shows up next, followed by Angela, who introduces herself.
Ooh,
and then apparently
Chanel. Period.
What?
I said shape and Chanel.
Shape and Chanel. There you go, girl. That's your business. Don't order you. Make your Shein order. It's gonna take 5 months. It's gonna take 5 months to get here.
I ain't Sheree. This ain't she by Sheree, okay?
Look, I think you might want to pivot. Go Alibaba. Go Alibaba.
Alibaba.
So no. Basically, yeah. When Angela gets there and she introduces herself to Tasha, Tasha ends up knocking her glass over. So Britt and Kelly are kind of kikiing like, oh, it's the energy. She said it was the energy. So then she starts talking to Kelly about how she said, you know, there's an issue with the husband. And then she said, but it's something is with a car. And so Kelly is like, well, what
is sold?
Right. And so she was like, well, I've never told anybody but Britt about that. And so apparently the husband had bought her a car to celebrate their 10 years of marriage. And then I guess he got pissed off with her and he sold it. Then she moves on to Angela and says that you really need to focus on, you know, love and says that you need to take a vacation. What'd you say? Taking time? Is that what she said?
I said sexy time.
Sexy time. It said, but you probably need a vacation with your spouse and, you know, spice things up. And so Angela does kind of admit that, you know, after 10 years of marriage, like things might have fallen off a bit. And then look, there go the prophet in my notes, but Tasha asked her about, well, who has a Porsche? So Angela's like, well, I don't know. I don't have one. And so she's like, he has his eye on something. And then Shamia's messy ass wants to be and say, well, I want to be clear. Is it Porsche? Is it a Porsche or a Porsche? I said, Shamia.
When she said he got his eye on something?
Yeah. You didn't hear that part?
I missed that.
Yeah. Shamia's messy ass was like, oh, well, what does he have his eye on? A Porsche or a Porsche? Yes. That's why I'm going to be honest with you. I love Shamia, but I hate how she plays a little stupid and naive. Like she don't know why she getting the smoke that she get.
First of all, hello. Let's not get it twisted. Her and even if they're not friends now, her and Portia was friends. And they both shady as hell. And Portia good for playing dumb. Who said that?
I get it, but still, I get where Angela's like, I can't forgive you because then you said that. So that makes me think, I realize that you thought what Portia said was cute. Cynthia puts an end to it at that point. And so she tells Shamia 2025 is her money-making year. Then Shamita notices that Cynthia, Britt, and Kelly are doing handless shots during her prophecy. So she feels the way, which I thought was kind of funny. Then
why was that shady?
Huh?
Why was that shady?
I don't think it was shady.
So why'd she get upset?
I guess because she felt like they were supposed to be listening to her prophecy. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I would have been more like Drew. Right. I would have been like I would have been like Drew. That's a one-on-one situation, and I don't want everybody receiving my whatever blessing, whatever you need to share with me.
I don't even think Drew said it. I think she just knew that she didn't want it to be shared.
Mm. So then basically when Portia walks in, the prophet tells her that she's been waiting on her. And she tells her, she sees a point when it's basically when things between Simon are all said and done, but they have a little kiki. And she said, "What? So you see me getting divorced?" And then they just kiki because obviously Tasha knows that because it's all in the blogs and there's no way that you could not know that. So yeah, but she basically does. I did hear her say to Portia, once everything is said and done, there will be a point where you and Simon can be friends again.
So then when Tasha left, things went awry. Okay. Kelly
Oh, did
asked,
she leave at this point? Because I thought I was in the middle of it, and I was like, that's what made her leave. I was wondering why I didn't see it no more.
Yeah, she left. So Kelly asked Angela how she been since Nashville, and she said she needs a good vibe. Britt told her, in order to receive it, you have to give it, and said, I think the prophet might have been spot on a little bit. I said, oh Lord, here we go. And then said, you got something you want to, I'm sorry. And then Angela said, you got something you want to say? Because what's up with this energy? And Britt said, can't you read the words coming out of my mouth? Angela said, with that big ass mouth, I should be able to read the words. So then Britt said, sounds like you need to use your mouth more often. And Angela said, girl, with them stretch marks, it's giving you use your mouth too much. You got miles on your mouth. I said, whoop. I said, not the miles on your mouth. And literally, they cut the camera to Shamia, and she was speechless. I would have been speechless. Miles on your mouth. And then, you know what?
Not even that. I was like, stretch marks around her. How you get those?
Damn that. What made it worse is because of the whole Kenya situation. The whole Kenya.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think that's why she said it.
I think I'm pretty sure that's why she said
that's what made it. That's what just Angela.
that's what took the air out the room.
I said, Angela, you play dirty. Okay, so then Britt tried to say that, she's married, and Angela told her she's a whore. She said, girl, you're a whore. Which is not a whore. So,
right. But you told her
a whore. So Britt told her maybe she should be a whore in the bedroom so she can keep her man. And said, your husband hasn't acknowledged that he's been married to you for the past 10 years. Angela said, everybody in the world know he's married to me. Britt said, everybody in the world know he got another baby.
Britt said, one thing I'm going to give Britt, she said, don't play with me. I came to play, okay?
Child, they was both taking it to hell. Okay,
they was both going to hell.
And then it was funny because Drew is like, I don't want no dealings. I don't want nothing to do with this. She over in the corner.
Said, I got enough drama in my life. I'm gonna get back home. I can't get inside my house. I am good.
Angela told Britt she better come with some receipts, talking like that. So then Cynthia breaks it up. She brings out her little cowbell, and said, this is a place of peace. And then she wanted to play a Juneteenth game, and this was so giving Treese. I said, if this ain't some Pisces, let's play a game. Let's play a card.
Let's play a game. Bring everybody together.
I said, she is such a Pisces. And of course, with the whole Juneteenth thing, they brought up
Portia makes a fool of herself again.
Comment, because yes, she did. Yeah, that girl ain't never gonna let that mess down. Then while the ladies were eating, Cynthia calls Portia and Angela into the prophet room. Angela started off and said, when I initially invited Drew, I, thought there was an understanding that, what my intention was. And as the night progressed, I felt attacked. Portia said, from her point of view, basically the girl was not invited. And for whatever reason, you blew past that. Mm-hmm. And now, it's not even about Drew anymore. So Angela said around 3:00 in the morning, basically, with the thing around 3:00 in the morning, Portia said, basically, you walked up on, us having a little after party, girl. We was kikiing on your expense is really what it was given. And she said, somebody brought up something. And she was like, yeah, what's up with Angela? She always brings up her husband to me. Angela said, yeah, but you was the one that said you would F Charles. Blame it on the alcohol, whatever you want to do, but that's what you said. And Portia said,
I'm gonna
I'm
be
not even,
honest. Portia did a lot of deflecting.
she did. Portia said, I'm not even that person. And Angela said, why is that something I want to hear behind my back? Portia said, it wasn't behind your back, girl. You supposed to be asleep.
I don't know why I feel like that's some you would say.
Yes,
That's something you would say. You supposed to be sleeping.
you should have heard the damn thing. You're supposed to be asleep. But see, look, when I heard it, I laughed. I kiki so loud. I was just like, girl, but you can't say that to somebody like her because that's not your friend.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? You can say that to your friend, but like she ain't your friend like that. So in the confessional, she said it was a stupid comment. And maybe she shouldn't have said it, or maybe she should have, because she was kicking with her friend. She ain't no Dumbo with the big old ears was gonna hear everything. But she did apologize because she said it was inappropriate for her to be having all that fun with her friend.
Portia's an ass.
Then Portia brought up the fact that Angela didn't apologize for saying what she said about her husband. So Angela said, if you felt some type of way about what I said, I apologize. So, Portia, little joking ass, talking about, all right, what's it up?
Right.
But then she did actually apologize. So then Cynthia dismissed Portia and brought in Shamia. And she said she wanted to get closure on the text that she sent over. And she said, she didn't even know what part she played and that made her feel some type of way. So Angela said, your best friend says that that she should F my husband. And as a married woman, I expected you to check her. Shamia said, y'all were at each other's necks all night long. And I'm not saying it's okay, but that ain't my fight.
Right.
And she said, I'm not here to justify what she did or talk about Portia. I'm here to talk about my part. And Angela said, the fact that you sat there and kiki when she said it shows me. I'm sorry. Shamia said, I kiki with everybody. I laugh at everything. And I feel like laughing is healing. I said, oh, God, Shamia, that is not the end. Just apologize, girl.
Right.
So she said, even at her uncle's funeral, she laughed because they
even
buried.
when she said this, I was like, Shamia, I know you trying to be funny.
Exactly.
And again, that's why I was like, you was looking for a moment, because I was like, just get a girl an apology, not even apology, just say, you know what, I could have said something, or I shouldn't have been kikiing about it with her.
Exactly, because it was wrong.
Yeah.
But she said, even at her uncle's funeral, she laughed because they buried him looking like a pastor. He never stepped foot in the church. Then Angela just kind of ended the conversation.
She's trying to come out her Jamie Foxx bag, and that joke didn't land.
Angela ended the conversation. She was like, "Yeah, you know what? We're just going to agree to disagree because basically."
And that's why I was telling you that. That's why, because after she said what she said on that couch, I think that's why Angela gave her that energy. Like, because remember, Angela was ready to get up. She wasn't asking to talk to Shamia. Shamia was asking to talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
I think Angela, like she said, I'm not on that. And once she sat on that couch and said, "Oh, is it Portia or Portia?" It was like, so you still, I'm already mad at you. I let you know that by text. And then you come here and you make a comment like that, like you think it's a joke. Yeah,
and then
I don't see
it. Make peace after you making jokes
right.
like that.
Yeah, no.
Well, in a confessional, Shamia apologized, but she definitely needed to apologize to her face. So,
yeah, I agree. But yeah, y'all. So that was pretty much the Juneteenth episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. The ancestors were, rolling over. But yeah, y'all, if you have not already, please make sure that you've hit that like button.
make sure you comment.
Make sure that you guys subscribe.
And you hit the notification bell.
And make sure you're following us on all the platforms. That's the TikTok, Blue Sky, IG, and the Facebook. And yeah, y'all, we will catch you next week for another RHOA recap. Y'all have a good one.